John, I suppose before we look at the Dundalk game in particular, just to sort of speak about the position you're in a great position. I think 7 games remaining, 8 points off Rovers with a game in hand, cup semi-final. What's the aim for the rest of the season? Is this about securing European football? Have you given up on a title race at this stage? Or?
I think it's very much the next game, and look at Friday against Dundalk. Can we get 3 points, and then we'll assess ourselves from there, see where we're at. To go and win the league would be obviously difficult. We need other teams to drop points, and we'd probably need maximum points. So it's obviously a difficult task. It's not impossible, but it's one that we look at Dundalk, and then once that game's done, we look at Drogheda and so on and so forth. So I think it's just taking it a game at a time and see how other results go when we get our result, and hopefully it starts with 3 points against Dundalk on Friday.
Is this the position you'd hope to be in this stage of the season? Cup semi-final, like we said, 8 points off the lead in the league, and very much in a great position to secure European football. Yeah,
I think when you look at it, it's where we want to be. It's where we want to be, challenging for things. In the later rounds of cup competitions, and great credit to the group. They've really come together and got us back in contention. The league is really, really tight, so it's a couple of wins and you can open up a gap, but a couple of defeats and you're dragged back into stuff. So it's really important that we just focus on ourselves now, and as you said, it's nice to be in the round with 7 games to go. It's just making sure that when them 7 games are done and dusted, that we're in the spot we need to be in.
What exactly would that spot you'd like to be in?
Well, of course you'd like to be top spot, obviously, but as I said, it's out of our control at the moment. So we have to focus on ourselves and just make sure we can only do what we can do. And if other results go your way, then great. If they don't, then it's making sure that you don't drop out of them top 3 spots. And as you said, semi-final to look for in a couple of weeks, which will, at the moment it's probably at the back of our minds now because it's a couple of weeks away. But once that comes round, it's an opportunity to get to a cup final and potentially guarantee Europe that way.
Is it anyway a challenge to shift focus this week? Because obviously it was a dramatic night. Obviously last week against Good Harps, and you had the cup draw this week. People talking about a potential final against Bohemians. Obviously you've got Cork to get over first. But is it a bit of a challenge to park that to one side because it's back to the league on Friday?
For myself, no. And then it's trying to get that across to the players. Like we obviously spoke this morning on our analysis of Dundalk about the draw and then just about, as you say, parking it for a couple of weeks because it's not something that's relevant at the moment. So it's making sure our full focus is on Dundalk, and then we have a quick turnaround to Drogheda, which is going to be another tough game. So just delighted to be at home. We haven't been here for a while, so it's nice to get back out of Richmond and playing in front of our home fans, and hopefully send them home happy on Friday.
Yeah, Jamie mentioned, I think it's over 40 days since you played a game here. It's been a long stretch.
Yeah, no, it has been. The cup games in between, obviously 2 away draws. Sometimes if you get the home draw, it doesn't feel as bad. But we've obviously had to deal with what we've been given, and we've managed to come through them challenges. And as I said, it's nice now to have a couple of home games in the space of 3 or 4 days, and we'll be looking to try and get as many points on the board as we possibly can.
On the outside looking in, it's a hard game to kind of prep or research because the 2 teams have had some real sort of contrasting battles this year. Obviously there's that heavy defeat we suffered away earlier on in the season. There was the draw up there as well, and you got the win here. How do you look back on those games, I suppose, with a view to Friday?
Yeah, I think obviously the games, the 5-0 game up there, I think was a strange one. They took their chances. They punished us for our mistakes on the night, and it was a tough one for us to take. But I think going up there in the 1-1 draw, we probably felt we should have seen the game out. We made another mistake to give up the goal, and then at home we managed to beat them 2-1 with 10 men. So I think the 2 teams are well evenly matched. I think it's, as you said, it's hard to probably prep in the sense that they've obviously had a really tough result the weekend just gone. He's obviously made changes early in the game, which can sometimes make it unpredictable as to what team may potentially start. So so you try and prep as well as you can from the previous games, what they've done. I think the previous games against Derry and Rovers, 2 defeats but 2 decent performances from them, so I'd imagine Stevie and the staff will be trying to get the players back into that frame of mind of playing that type of football to give themselves the best chance.
Finally, on a personal level, looking forward to an exciting few weeks ahead with the remaining 8, potentially 9 games this season?
Of course, yeah. It's as a player, as a coach, that's what you're looking for. You're looking to be involved in games that matter, and that's very much what we have. We've got 7 league games that matter and really will define where we end up and define the season. And it's important that, as I said, we focus on this one. We don't think about the next 1 or 2 after that. It's focusing fully on this one and then move on to the next one after it. And it's trying to not look too far ahead. And that's been the message kind of throughout. That we don't look too far ahead. We focus on the next game. That's the one that we can impact.